Hi guys, I am SS the Showstopper, and today is the 6th of May 2024. Now I've become the great wig comber, so I comb wig while communicating with you guys and let you know what my topic will be about. The reason I decide to do this is I'm trying to make the atmosphere more relaxing, more calm, more casual for those who stop by. I realize also that I do not have a target audience, neither do I have a niche. And because I don't have a niche or a target audience, I tend to attract persons who drift, persons who pass by, and they will give me a subscription, but they don't stay, or they will just move on, or they didn't hit the notification. So let me take the time out to thank all those who have subscribed to my channel, all those who are watching my videos, all those who are paying attention to my content from people all over the world, because I realize that there is a lot of people all over the world who watch me, especially people in the UK. It was quite surprising, people on the African continent, persons in Kenya who actually watch me. And you guys also need to understand that you're communicating, or when you leave a comment, you are leaving a comment on the channel of someone who is on the island of Jamaica, someone who's in the Western world. Our culture, our culture and our system is a lot more different from you guys, and because of such you have to rather respect it, because it's not cool to go in a person's account or channel and then you're leaving comments that are degrading or disrespectful to their culture. Everybody doesn't see things the way you do, and the same way you want your culture to be respected, you have to bear in mind that you have to respect other person's culture. You understand? And you're not respecting it by default. You understand? So with that being said, let's talk about it, because we are on the topic of respect. So let's talk about it. I realize that there is a situation on the island. I don't like to use the word problem. There's a situation on the island, and persons are having an issue respecting each other. People are having communication issues and emotional intelligence issues, wherein they don't know how to maintain decorum, they don't know how to respect a prolonged or a continuous or a lengthy conversation, they don't know how to respect it, they don't know how to allow it to continue without them moving from 0 to 100 and getting irate. Also, persons don't know when they're asking information, or they're instigating, or they're being mere provocateur, right? Why is it that you can't communicate and have a discussion on a particular topic, and if your opinion stands, or you hold your opinion, or you hold on to your point, and that person sees something different from you or sees it different from you, why is it that you can't respect that there's a difference and keep it moving? Why is it that it always have to lead to hurling insults, to disrespecting people, to degrading each other and all of that? Why can't it just leave at the fact that your opinion differs from mine, I do not share the same point of view as you, and we leave it as such? This is what I never understand. Also, if you're speaking on sensitive topics such as religion and politics, you know those are the two most sensitive topics out there, because if you're going to speak on racism, racism comes from politics and politics come from religion. You understand? So basically the two most sensitive topics out there are politics and religion. So if you realize that you're going to enter into a conversation, or let's take it from the other person's angle. If you're entering into a conversation and you realize that that person have already made a decision was already made in their mind about a particular political party, a particular group of people, whatever the case may be. Once they already have made a decision, you have no business communicating or getting to that topic with them. Yes, it's good to be able to hold just about any conversation with someone. It's also good to understand where limitations are and where the buck will actually stop, and realize that, listen, you cannot go any further with this individual, because they would have already made up their mind about a particular subject matter, and you are simply not about to change it. You understand? You cannot change their mind. Now, going from that the other angle. If you realize that you have already made a decision about a particular subject matter, whether it be politics or whether it be religion, why are you constantly going into an avenue or among a group of people to have that kind of discussion when you know you do not share the same values, you do not share the same standpoint, the same morality, all that good stuff? You don't share it because it often leads to disrespect, especially for those who are indifferent when it comes to religion. If you don't share the same fundamentals as that individual who supports or believes in their religion, there are certain topics you just leave alone and move on, because at this point you look like a conversation provocateur or a argument provocateur, someone who just want to stir shit for the heck of it. You understand? A lot of times people are like that. They already made up their mind about something. They already have their standpoint and you cannot change it. But yet they're entering into a conversation so you can prove something to them. God, I hope my father is not watching this because he had this kind of thing. He's a pioneer. He's a pioneer of these kind of things, going into a topic that, you already made up your mind about, especially when it comes to the great old religion. And yet you want to enter into a topic with people who believe in it. For what? You're just going there to provoke people and to get them irate and stuff like that. So I look at it from their angle, and I'm also looking at it from your angle. From their angle, once you realize that the person shares a different fundamental, you respectfully say, listen, your belief is different from mine. We don't share the same fundamental, and we leave it at that. You understand? We leave it at that. Do not allow them to pull you out and stuff. And I realize the provocateur have a tendency to hurl insults. They tend to be the one who become the antagonist. They want to provoke an argument. So let's say all things are equal and the provocateur decides that they want to ameliorate a particular subject matter at hand, especially when it comes to politics and, election and all these kind of things and stuff. At the end of the day, they're not necessarily open to have a change of thought. They're not necessarily open to have a change in idea. They're not necessarily open to look at things from your perspective. If they are, they're doing it from a judgmental point of view or to a point where it becomes an attack. Once you realize that they are about that, you just leave them be. Leave them be. Just avoid it. It's not going to get you anywhere. There are people who do not have a clue what emotional intelligence is. And so they begin to hurl insults. They begin to disrespect. They begin to call you out your name and thinking that it is okay. And because they accept certain things, you are simply supposed to. That, my dear, are people who you don't want to be around because they're not going to respect your idea. They're not going to respect decision. And that's another thing. People need to respect when a person make their decision. Your spirit cannot be too familiar. Your mind cannot be too familiar to an individual wherein you do not respect decision. If they have made up their mind, even when you're showing them where the danger lies, and they have made up their mind, you respectfully move on. You just do not have that discussion with them anymore because your mind is simply not going to change simply because you're showing them hindsight of something else. You understand? And that's one of the issues that we're having in society. People want to be right at all times rather than to be understood. They insist on wanting to be right. They want you to not see their point. They want you to understand that they are right and the other party is wrong. Communication doesn't work like that. At times you have to understand that you should seek to be understood rather than seeking to be right. If you're seeking to be right at all times, you are a narcissist. I'm not always right at all times. That's why I go to research materials. That's why I look up things. That's why I go to people's channel where I can learn something from. Or even if I disagree with them, I can still hear what they have to say for the sake of great understanding or improve in intelligence or upgrading in advancement. You understand? And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that because in order for you to oppose something, you have to understand clearly what you are opposing. Not only that, what are your fundamentals? Because a lot of times people are looking at things through other people's eyes. They don't have an opinion for themselves. They don't have a subject matter. They don't have a fundamentals that they stand by for themselves. They're just hopping into people ideas people, opinion people, fundamentals, and pick from it and say, I don't like this. And because of such, they condemn the individual. They condemn the particular topic, whether it be religion, whether it be politics. They condemn it. And it leads to what? Insults again. It leads to disrespect. You understand? People do not respect boundaries. People do not respect limitation. And even if that person is your friend, is your mother, your father, your relative, you have to respect limitation. You have to respect boundaries. You understand? You can't say anything that you please simply because you have a buccal cavity that you can protrude words from. It doesn't work like that. When I was a little girl and I used to read through magazines and stuff like that, I saw a guy with like some stitches, that artwork, like the Psycho Bunny with the stitches on the mouth and stuff like that. And over the heading was a big wording that says, don't talk words that hurt. Don't talk words that hurt. You can't purpose in your heart. And then when a person decides to have a knee-jerk reaction and want to attack you physically, then you're going to say, oh, this is what I said, this is what I said. What you say hurt. And what you say hurt, oftentimes you end up paying for it. So I'm saying that on the island, there's an issue when it comes to emotional intelligence, when it comes to communication. People cannot disagree. I don't have to agree to disagree. I can simply say that you're wrong based on what we are seeing or based on what is presented. You are wrong, but I leave it there or I digress. You understand? I leave it as is. I can also agree to disagree. You have your opinion. I have mine, but I'm leaving it as is because we're not going to get anywhere in the conversation. So let's change the topic. Let's move on. You understand? But I wouldn't say I'm from, where a lot of people are from in Jamaica, they don't believe in that. They believe that they are right at all times. And if you don't seek to see that they are right at all times, they begin to hurl insults. That's not the society that you want to live in because the younger generation are seeing this. They are looking to what? Older folks. And if they are seeing this and you are normalizing disrespect, which is what's taking place on the island right now, persons are normalizing disrespect. If you see and you are okay with it, what do you think the younger generation is going to do? You think that they're going to come up having respect for you? No, they're not going to. It doesn't work like that. They're simply going to be what? Very disrespectful to you just the same. So you have to be careful of what you are putting out there because guess what? You're going to get older. They're going to be the adult, the future, the leaders of tomorrow. And they will be just as selfish, just as disrespectful as you were. And you are the elder person who need the respect, who need the care, who need the love, who need the affection. You understand? And so if you didn't do it when you were young, and this is what you were teaching the younger generation, when they come up, they're going to be heartless. They're going to be unconscientious. They're going to be inconsiderate. They're going to be selfish. And this is what I'm talking about. So we need to learn to improve our communication skills. There's so many domestic violence that is taking place right across the island. Men killing women because of this, because of that. He heard something, he saw something, and it trickles down into every aspect. Business people falling out, all these type of people falling out. You understand? Taxi man falling out with other taxi men, with other police and them. And it goes on because of the little word respect. Respect. Also, poor communication skills. Poor communication skill. Lack of emotional intelligence. You have to learn to maintain composure. Think twice. You have to learn to do that. I'm not perfect. You understand? But when it comes to self-awareness, you know when something is going too far. So you say, listen, I'm not doing this. I'm over it. I want to move on. I'm not going to have it with you. You understand? So you have to know. You have to know when you're also at a disadvantage, who have the upper hand in the topic. Especially when it comes to, like I said, law enforcement. Who has the upper hand? If someone has the upper hand, you might want to traverse with respect rather than seeing the person, batty man, batty boy, police, Babylon boy, fight against man, fight. You might not want to approach or respond. Well, it wouldn't be respond. If it's respond, then it certainly means that you lack intelligence that we can't help you with. So let's say you reacted. It can't be where you are reacting at all times, like sodium. You understand? Just violent for no reason. You're going to react to an individual or to law enforcement. You have to realize that they have the advantage in that particular scenario. So you traverse what? Carefully, with respect. You lower your tone. You speak with respect. These are things that you learn in high school. These are things that your parents supposed to teach you. You understand? When you meet an authoritative figure, you respect, you show respect, you maintain decorum. It takes you far. It might not take you to your destination, but it takes you far. And this is what I'm saying. And it's the same thing with family. You cannot have a familiar spirit. I do not have a familiar spirit with my brothers. I certainly don't have a familiar spirit with my sisters. I have brothers who are younger than me. I talk to them with respect. You know why? Because I want them to respect me. I want them to respect me. So I talk to them with respect. And they're very respectful individuals. They are gentlemen. You understand? They are respectful individuals. And it happens. My family ain't perfect, but I'm just using us as an example because we have been through the ringer. We have gone there, law enforcement, court, the whole 9 yards. We have been there. But it's one thing that we have learned to understand is the importance of proper communication, emotional intelligence, and respect. Respect. I don't have a familiar spirit with any of my siblings. I don't have a familiar spirit with my father. I don't have a familiar spirit with my mother. I simply don't, because respect is important. And if I want to be respected, I have to come from a place of self-respect. Self-respect. I have to come from a place of self-respect. I have to come from a place of respecting someone or respecting others, and so they respect me. If their opinion differs from mine, I'll let them know that we don't share the same outlook on things or on this particular matter, and we keep it moving. We ride the waves, and we keep it moving. We don't go back and forth and have it until it becomes disrespectful, because, at the end of the day, all of us are human beings. Well, some of us have gone too far where they become psychotic and stuff like that. So, definitely you want to stay away from that individual. That's someone that you just do not want to cross path with at any time, because they're not on medication. They weren't diagnosed, but you can tell by their behavioral pattern or the way they communicate that something ain't right. Like, what's up? So at the end of the day, all I'm saying is that the island need to have some sort of system in place where there's improvement, where there's a course taught in communications, in proper communication skill, in respect, in understanding each other. Remember, I said that there needs to be a course on respect on the island. There really needs to be. There really needs to be, because people do not. It's so funny. It goes even in friendship, where people believe that because they are disrespectful or they don't respect themselves, they believe that they should disrespect someone else, even their friend, and they should get away with it because tomorrow we're going to kiss and make up. It doesn't work like that. And a lot of these people who you see out there who are quick to be disrespectful and insulting, a lot of them are what you call SA victims, molested victim. They were molested when they were little. So all pride and hope is lost. They don't get back. There isn't any counselor. There isn't anybody out there that they sought to speak with or have a discourse with about the trauma that they went through or they have been through. And because of that, they believe that they can just go about their day and, develop coping mechanisms as they go along, whether it be the smoking, the drinking and stuff. So they strongly believe that if they have a friend, that's how they should deal with their friend. Because I was degraded, or I was humiliated, or I was SA. So let me go ahead and treat others the same way, because that's how they treated me. And I haven't gotten over my situation. So they develop a familiar spirit where they're normalizing disrespect. And that's what's taking place on the island. Poor communication skill to normalizing disrespect. And when you start normalizing disrespect, you believe that you can say just about anything to anyone, including a friend, and get away with it. And when they let you know that, listen, that's not how it works, you go even further, doing a great damage that you cannot repair. So right then and there, you have lost a good friend through poor communication skill, lack of emotional intelligence, and normalizing disrespect. And that's not what we want, okay? That's certainly not what we want. So food for thought. I think that there needs to be a course, I did communication. Communication is actually a course that's in Jamaica. But we need to do more than that. We need to learn to respect each other, That's all I'm saying. There needs to be a course on respect. We need to improve communication skill and emotional intelligence. And that's all I have to say about it. Thank you so much for your time. Enjoy your day, and may God bless you. Bye bye.